Hello, everyone. This is Josiah Umezurike. Today, I'm coming to you with something different, with a different twist to how my delivery has been. As you all know, Each One Teach One is sponsored by Lockdown LLC, and Each One Teach One is here to bridge the gap between the mentors and the mentees. And we have developed a full-blown programs in IT Foundation and AWS Cloud training, and we are moving forward to other things like cybersecurity, UAV specializing in drones, and then robotics. And we've been trying to find a way to help impart this knowledge to those who need it the most. And it is very difficult to do that because most of Africans and African descent somehow think that they are not good in science, or somehow it's wired in their head. I don't know who's telling them that they're not good enough in science, and therefore they go into arts, entertainment, and etc. But I differ in that opinion. I don't think it's a sound conclusion. I think every human being can do and achieve everything they set out to do as long as they know what they're here to do. If you know what you're here to do, it's a simple fact that you can accomplish that. Everybody has a skill that's given to them by God, the Almighty, the creator of the heavens and the earth. And I believe that. So moving forward, I would like you to know that since this program is established, and we've been trying so hard to make the connection between who we are as a people, and again, how we can play a very strong role in the modern technology, especially the Industry 4.0, which is here on our knees. It is here in our hands. And what are we going to do? How do we play? How do we fit into it? The first one, we were the stocks. Second one, we're playing around. The third one, we lost it completely. And there is no technology that is based on our people that came as a top 10 in today's technology, which is internet based. So we weren't a part of the internet bubble in the 90s. We missed out. So what are we going to do this time? I think we will not miss out if you pay attention and listen to what I'm about to reveal to you. Now, Lockdown is in the process of making a giant leap, a giant step. We have a lot of products that we've developed, but we want you to go to the website and download this product and start using it. We want you to support what we are working on and doing. So to encourage us, you go there and download the products that we're working on and see how you can support what we're doing to make your life better. Now, the topic for today is a little different. It's kind of awkward, but it's still not awkward completely. There is a need for you to understand that African indigenous technology will need a transformation. And the kind of transformation we're talking about here is a very powerful one. The one that goes back thousands of years of knowledge that our people have held in various ways, by writing them, by oral tradition, and etc., by markings, by keeping artifacts, and by using other systems. And one of the notable systems that we see, thanks to the Renaissance YouTube channel, I went to their channel to study some of the lies that were told about the Negroes, the slavery, and etc. And I found the patterns in the methodology where information are used as a powerful tool, where scripts are rewritten and things are cleansed and things are renewed and updates are made to cover certain information. And the same thing we see today. However, we have to admit to the fact that the fact is that those who know how to manage information use them well, and a lot of them make money out of it. It's very clear to us. And now, the connection we're going to make today to be able to bring the message home that the science or technology has always been with the continent, even before other groups can ever smell the coffee. So the morning time was just yesterday morning for me, but Africans had this. But what really happened? We must ask ourselves. It is possible that we overlook these things. and we stopped investigating them. And instead of looking inside, we started looking outside for something we already have. What a shame. This is the relationship between the modern day technology, computer technology, and AFA in Igbo land or AFA in Yoruba land. There's been numerous studies on this, but it seems the more you look, the less you find any connection with that. After going to the Renaissance website, and I saw a lot of compelling information about the background of a certain people or certain group of people found in a geographical location which we call today Nigeria. Especially when you look at the southwest and southeast, you find this group of people. Now, it is possible that these people can thrive in modern day technology if they were to look inside as opposed to looking elsewhere. African indigenous technology transformation is here. But to make that connection, we need to understand who we are and how we have used technology to advance and better our societies. We analyze the mechanism of AFA or AFA to determine how it served as the foundation of the binary system. Yes, you heard me right, binary system. Although history did not say that AFA is the true oracle of all oracles in the decision making. It is imperative that we make a connection between AFA or AFA, 16 bits binary or hexadecimal system, to the modern day computation or computing system. No one has actually explained it the way I'm about to explain it to you. With the help of the work of the man I named before, Victor Manfredi of the University of Boston, his most updated work is just 2015, thanks to the internet, the biggest search engine man has ever had. Or is it? Now, the updated material that we have from 2015 is what I'm going to use with other information that I gathered from other places. There's another book by another man that I also use. This other book, I'm going to share it with you. This is the book here. There are two books I'm going to use. This is the man himself. He's from the University of Boston. He's done a lot of research in African studies, and I gathered some of his work, and this is his work here. So these are some of the abstract that he has, and going down to some of the work that he's done is AFA, the Igbo counterpart of IFA. So he drew that conclusion and the findings of what he studied. As you can see here, he mentioned that while being ported south and west from Benue, from the southeast, meaning from the Igbo land, it was being moved out to the southwest from the Benue River Valley some 500 years ago. The oracle's own name and other proprietary terms underwent sound change in the receiving languages. These phonetic shifts plus paralinguistic mutation remain behind a footprint on the transmission routes. The texts themselves and use also evolved along their branching path as emerged elites turned from ancestral legitimation rooted on the ground to novel ideas of authority dangling from the skies. Basically, he's telling us here, this is interesting, that he moved around that region, Idoma, Benue, was south, all the southwest, all the way to Ilorin and all of that. So at the beginning of his abstract, he said, AFA and IFA are two out of many localizations of far-flung West African oracle. He called the spanning system capabilities of information retrieval and Lulian are combinatoria. So he's using the term they use in his field, I understand. But in layman's term, he says whose digital processor keys natural language text to 256 ordered pairs of 4-bit arrays. These are ordered binary sets. When you order binary sets in 2, what do you get? You have enable and enable, and you can change it to hex or hexadecimal notation of it. So as you can see, he has demonstrated to us that our people were practicing I'm making this divination based on 16 bits binary system. I will investigate that further. But before we continue, let's take a look and see what Oracle is in modern day computing. Okay, let's go to computer science and see what it means. Okay, so here, looking at the Oracle here, I don't know if you guys can see it. I'll try to make it bigger if I can. Let me see if I can make it bigger. It's not big enough, is it? I hope you guys can see it. But anyway, all the links will be posted there for you guys to take a look when you have the time. So it says that Oracle machine in complexity theory and computability theory, an Oracle machine is an abstract machine used to study decision problems. It can be visualized as Turing machine with a black box. So what it's basically telling you is, in computer decision making, Oracle machine, you call the classical classical complexity an Oracle, especially when you have the Turing machines with a black box. Black box means you don't really know how that machine works. So this is the same thing we are seeing in AFA divination and or IFA divination that's done in this region of the world found in Africa. So moving forward, we would like to move forward here to say that it is possible to reach the same conclusion that a great affinity lies with the people sharing the language construct of the AFA or IFA divination. There is a common ground in their view of the world at large. The origin of AFA did not predate Nri Kingdom in Igbo land. Hence, this knowledge traveled while following the rivers of the land to parts of southwest and southeast, just like Victor Manfredi has told us, of the modern day geographical location of Nigeria. That's what he said. And I just said it as a person who has a first-hand knowledge of the area. So now it is possible that these people can thrive in the modern day technology if they were to look inside as opposed to looking elsewhere. We've been looking elsewhere. We have to look inside of us. We have it. Our ancestors had this, and they work with the systems, and we refuse to study them, not even for scientific purposes, to advance in our knowledge and grow. We refuse to study them. You see, is it possible that this AFA divination or oracle themselves of all times could be the oracle of all times in computation of decisions? Is it possible that it could be the oracle of all time, that the key is held there in computation, is held in that region, and there are individuals who understand them? So let this be a segue to go into the more important aspect of the whole thing. So let's get into it. Now, I am going to go to another document. Let's remember 1442, page 1442. We're going to come back to it. This document is an interesting document. The meaning and method of AFA divination among the northern Nsukka Igbo. IBO is the same thing as IGB or Igbo. Igbo is the Romanized construct of it, the way the English would say it. Now, this book is written by Austin J. Shelton. From what state? From State University of New York. The other one, Victor Manfredi, was from Boston. This gentleman was from New York. This is another expeditious work, actually detailed work as opposed to expeditious one. It's a scholarly work, just like the other one was a scholarly work. So this book will make us understand the AFA itself, what it is, and what it's comprised of. So now I'm a native speaker of this language, so I'll be able to help you guys. The words Agba Afa, more properly Agba Afa, mean cast, okay? The Agba part is cast, and the word Afa is actually word, a word. So the caster is called Onye Na-Agba Afa, and that simply means a person. Onye is a person, and in this case, who is what they're implying here, okay? So now you have who cast AFA, like the one that cast AFA, who cast AFA, onye na-agba AFA. So a common alternative for this is Mbafa, Mbafa. And there are other dialects or idioms in the area moving away from the where it came out of the Nri Kingdom, which is in Soka area, Enugu, all those places area, as it moved away following the two rivers, major rivers in that country, in geographical location, current geographical location called Nigeria today. Followed the two rivers left and right and moved up to southwest and further to southeast, and that's the region they were found to be used. So physically, the AFA consists of 4 strings or chains, each containing 4 half shells of the seeds of the bush, mango. People that know ujiri what it is, or more commonly the almond, the apipi, or they know what it is. These strings are usually about 12 inches or 15 inches, and in that string you have the length. It is like 12 inches in length, and you have half shells are more or less evenly spaced on the strings. I can show you what they look like here. This is what they look like. Okay, maybe I will have a better picture somewhere down there. Okay, this is what they look like. So they look like this. You see, this is the 16-bit binary system. You see, they have the tail on the ends. Okay, they are made of different combination of them, as you can see, like the tail on the end, and the way it shows up, the way it lays itself up, that's how they interpret it. Now, this string is put in the tortoise shell. So in folklore, in African folklore, the tortoise is the protagonist of wisdom. Is the one that's always clever, smart, have a nice way of doing things. Does that ring a bell? Does that remind you of something? So you take this coding system or encoding system as the sample machine language or assembly language, and you put it in this case. This reminds me of the computer, to be precise. So you put it in this case, so when somebody looks at it, they know it's Onye Mbafa. It's somebody that can tell what your problem, that can help you make decision by telling you what you need to solve your problem, just like the computers do today. Now, let me go and take this back to the modern day binary system to help you understand what's going on here. So the alpha system, you have the 4 strings like we demonstrated there. These are the 4 strings, and they have 4 nodes in each string. So from here, you can see that you have pretty much a binary system. It is a truth table, whether you're adding them up or subtracting them. I mean, whether you're adding them up, as in adding them, or whether you're saying this or this. These are some of the mathematics these priest people who practices AFA has to go through in their head. Now, as a person that's versed in the computer, I can tell you that they were serving many purposes all at once. First, they would throw the die, the AFA, they will cast it. Once they cast it, they now have to remember what that truth table looks like. Now, if you know computer science or studied computer science, you will understand that it will be difficult to lay it out just like that. That it has to be a short form for them to remember how things fall in places. So that brings us to the point whereby they must have developed another system that trumps this, that give them the symbolism that they need to interpret the parameterized request and response that goes between them and the person that is seeking out their help, so they can make a better decision. So here we believe that it is possible that they have also developed the hexadecimal system, which in this case, enable now changes to something. Enable meaning this pair. This is enable. When you have four, like you have this, like this. Oh, it's not doing what I told him to do. Anyway, when you have 4 bits as it's lined up here, that's a nibble. When you have 4 bits, that's a nibble. When you have 4 bits, that's a nibble. When you have 4 bits, that's a nibble. But when you have this here, like the way it's like laid out here, so each of them could be a 0 or each of them could be a 1. Each of them could be a 0 or each of them could be a 1. So here you have, this is, at the very bottom you have 4, followed by 3 and 2 at the top, you have a 1. Okay? So with that being said, you see how the string are laid out. So it's a representation of a truth table. It's a representation. When you throw it out, you have values coming out. But how can a human being remember all these values? So they have to have a method of symbolically representing the pairs. The string, they read the string in pairs. They read the first 2, and then they read the second 2, like 3, 4. They read them in pairs. And they read it in such a way that each connects to the other, the next level of their reading. So with that being said, let's move forward again to other explanations. Now I'm going to go up here and to show you a peculiar scenario when you are reading this system. So the way it works is very simple. Like when you go to this, I'm going to leave this book for you to read, but I will summarize basically how it works, and that way you understand what's going on. Okay, this is a case. A villager has a serious problem, and the villager comes to the caster. I want you guys to understand the people that practice the AFA or IFA divination are usually priests, and they serve more than the purpose of the priesthood. When the priesthood started off in Re Kingdom, down in the southeast of the Nigeria, geographical location called Nigeria today, and that southeast the Igbo land, they had the priests who practiced righteousness and preached to the people so that they don't do bad things. That way, the land will not be kind of so you don't desecrate the land, pretty much. So they tell people to do upright things so that the land will not be desecrated, and they moved around as ministers telling people that these are the priests that were practicing this. And they also served as the doctors, or what is known as the dibia. So they called the dibia all along in those regions. Okay, so they are like the wise men. The wise men, just like today, if somebody has an uncanny understanding of a computer, we call them a wizard or a whiz kid or stuff like that. Can you see the correlation and the relationship that we are finding here? So first is the tortoise and the string. Put in the tortoise. The string are like the CPU that are in the computer that's housed in the motherboard and the casing and stuff like that. Are you seeing the connection? And now, if I have a problem, or if I'm looking for anything, I need something edited, or if some problem solved really fast, I go to the computer and I type in what I want. And the way we do it over the internet and everything is parameterized, meaning we have to be specific. It's almost like we have to be so precise. So if I type an A is represented by 65 in ASCII encoding. You can check it out on your spare time. If not, it's represented by some number in an ASCII encoding. And that number is now reduced to binary, and that's the only way the computer understands it. Okay? So the AFA priests or the DBS, they have this understanding. They have their own language. Like today, some people who are good in programming will speak Java, C++, the most current one, Python. They had their own. It's not like natural language that I can speak to you like I'm talking to you right now. Although the term is natural language that is used in querying information in a database, but actually it's not really that natural. What they meant by natural language is like you can, the brain can understand it cognitively, recognizing that it matches something, or it is a semblance of something, and it has a representation. That's what they meant by it. Okay. So now this patient now come to this diviner, and the patient greets the diviner, right? And the caster of AFA makes his usual greetings to the person back, and then the person will go, I come for Onyana Abafa to read the AFA for me. I came for the reading. That's basically what they will say. Onyana Abafa, he that reads that translates the AFA or decodes the AFA message. He then sits on this and squats down across from the cluster, and so on and so forth. Anyway, the string or AFA nodes are found in the tortoise shell. He takes it out, and as you can see, the instance, he starts asking questions, and these questions are parameterized. He will ask, what brought you here? Okay, and you will say what brought you here, and he will continue to ask. Okay, So it says that the caster picks up the strings and throws them out one string at a time, okay? So that they lie parallel, like just what I showed you guys earlier on, okay? So when the caster taps each set of the AFA with the stick, first the caster gives the stick to the person, and you touch it and give it back to him. It's possible there's some exchange of energy happens when that stick passes through, because we live in an electromagnetic world. So there need to be further studies done on this, and more of what happens, the whole interaction and the process. So he takes the stick and touches the string that he already casted and laid it out, okay? So is the process. The process continues that way. So in casting, the diviner follows a prescribed pattern. Okay, when he reads the casting, the same way he threw it, he follows a prescribed pattern, like number 1 and number 3 are cast simultaneously, and then you cast, and there's a way you hold them, and 1 is held in the right hand, and 3 is held on the left. The same thing, you do the same with 2 and 4, and so on and so forth. And as he's doing that, the caster touches significantly patterned. Some of the notes are different. Some is from Ujiri and some is from Apipi, and he's touching them, and he's saying certain things like this, Kanka, this and that. You see, Kanka is pattern. It's like it's a sentence fashioned in such a way, like when you're reading or writing a sonnet, a poet, like a Shakespearean sonnet. You can see the pattern, the iambic pentameter, the way it is. So it's parameterized the way they're doing these things. So when they are saying this word, and the way they ask you questions, and the things that they say in their incantations and all that stuff, that it plays a large role. And the things that they are saying, people don't understand it. It's like it's a spoken language of some sort that we don't understand. It's complicated, just like today. And believe you me, you have to learn the methodology or mechanism for years before you can graduate out of it. So now, when all is said and done, what I want you to understand is the first cast is what you're looking at right here. That's the first cast. As you can see, you have the first cast, the second, the 3, and he's gonna read it just like it was casted. Remember, he casted 1 and 3, and 2 and 4. Okay, he held them in different hands. That's how he's gonna read it. Let's see how this one is read, so we can have an understanding of what's going on. The binary system is 16 bits. Okay, as you can see there. Now, this is how this one is read. He read 1 and 2. In computer science, 1 plus 2 is actually 1 or 2. So for them, 1 or 2, if you have 1 or 2, is obiogeli. If you have 2 or 3 is oboliose. If you have 3 or 4, is osola. In Igbo, this is Igbo uke, make sacrifice. Is it making sense to you? So now, in the second one, they have to take in consideration of what is read in the first one, and make sure that it enters the second one. What was going to happen here? So you see the cast in the second one. Now, this is how he did it. He followed 1A, 2A, 1A or 2A. You see, 1A is that 0 there. 2A is that 0 there. What does that tell you? They are reading them in pair as is thrown. Now, O2 erele, that is a code. We don't know what it means. 2A and 4A, look at 2A and look at 4A. That's how it's going to be interpreted. And he does that for all of them, and it means something. What is interesting is everything you're looking at is symbolic. This is how the binary system is developed, and this is how they have practiced it for ages. Now, I would like to take you back to see what seems to be a seeming lookup table. Like, for instance, in this lookup table, if you look, there are some words there. This word is DI, is read as ADI in Yoruba, and is read as OGI in another part of Yoruba. In Nupe is read as EJI. This is the work of Victor Manfredi. So these are sort of the lookup table that they have for the binary combinations of what they have observed. So they have to use what they observed as they cast it to make the reading. For instance, if all of them turned up like this, like they were all turned up like on, it's a different thing. If there's a change in them, it's a different thing. So the understanding is that you have the tail and the head, and each of them represents certain things based on what they are looking at or what is happening. So what we want to drive home here is there's a system developed over the years, and some people have been able to gather that information and put it down either in their brain as knowledge base and pass it from one generation to the other, or have it archived somewhere or written, or have a representation. As we see now, they say that we don't have a system of writing, or Africans didn't have a system of writing. You see here, there's a system of writing very clearly shown. In the binary system that it was used, they have developed a very advanced system that helps them to have markings or string notation that allows them to actually remember exactly what the arrangement was as they cast the die. So moving forward, we can see there's a correlation. We can see it is highly possible that people of this original background, if only they know that they have this potential knowledge in them, if only they know, they will strive and they will work hard and they will do well. This is another lookup table that I wanted you to look at. Assuming the dice are done in pair. If you get a 0 at the beginning, you have to do it over again. So the 0 is really nothing to them. So you have to have a value come up, like in the go, here go. You see, as you can see in the Igbo, the AFA, the Igbo, the Nri Kingdom, they have an accuracy that's very high than anybody else. That suggests that it was ported from there. They have their N representing 256. The N is address system. So when you roll the dice, if you're dealing with a word which is 8, and you have 32, you're dealing with a word which is 8, and you have 32 elements, which we've seen here. That means if you multiply the 32 elements by 8, you get 256. That's what we are seeing right here. So they are dealing with 16 bits. If you are dealing with 16 bits, and that should be the case as well. Okay, that should be because 16 by 16 is 256, isn't it? Okay, 16 by 16 is 256. They are using 16 bits, but the way they arrange them in pair is very interesting, as you can see right here. Okay, so they have 256 addresses based on this system that they developed. Isn't that amazing, guys? So now it is inside of any one of us to learn, to dig deeper and investigate more. And for those of you that are taking computer science in various universities across the world, this is a challenge that I'm throwing to you guys. My instinct tells me that studying and understanding this very clearly will have a role to play in developing the future higher languages that will be used to interact with quantum computers. I do not have a lot of time. I'm not as agile as I used to be. I could have taken it upon myself, but I have many other obligations, which includes showing you these little secrets that I come upon from time to time. This is not something you should play with. It's something that you should carefully look into. For those of you that are disposed, I am sure one of you that in one of these universities can figure out how to feed information into quantum computers and build an advanced system that nobody has ever seen before, only by investigating for that what is already there from the people of the old. We can advance it and make it much better. Now, this is the message I wanted to give to you guys. And another thing I wanted to do here is to draw the analogy to the modern day technology in a way that everybody will understand it. Now, what does a computer do? A computer processes information. That's its major job. It has a component that does that. The CPU will do what? Will now interact with Whatever information you send to the computer, will interact it, bring it to the lowest possible level to allow the computer to flip-flop on it and come up with a solution and supply it to you. And now you have the memory. The processor can't do nothing without the memory. The memory is the address system that it has. That is where the values are held. So that is where every message that you try to edit, when you go into the WordPress to edit in the document or notepad, that message bangs in the random access memory, and it stays there till it is its own time for the CPU to address that issue and solve the problem and spit it out. Garbage in, garbage out. So same thing applies to graphic cards that have direct access to the CPUs. Instead of going to the computer's memory, they go directly to the CPU because they have their own memory that's stashed there. They have it right there with them. So now, as you can see, those priests or DBS, they are serving as one database. Well, not only them serving as a database in this case, the clients that come to them or the patients that come to them become a database, but a transferred one or distributed one, and they now become a database. At the same time, they become what? They become like a higher language because they have a higher language like C++ that they have developed over the years that allows them to understand the code that comes out, the binary codes that comes out. Those binary codes, they have also developed a system of matching it with strings. When they were saying those codes that they were talking about, when they were talking to you and they're saying those codes, they were able to match those to what they see. And these had been compiled over the years. What it means, maybe a period of time when somebody was sick and their stomach was hurting them, it was documented. And another person sick, it was documented. And another person, maybe 10, 50, 100 people. And they found out that there's a pattern. The model fits closely each time to the solution they have given the people or what they need to do, and it solves the problem. They document that. Over the years, they have a massive library of it. To remember that, you have to have some mnemonic or a system. To remember binary numbers is impossible. That's why humans built computer. Lo and behold, the computer already had been in existence thousands of years before the modern day came up with the computer. I have been able to show you what has happened, that they have done it. If they have done it, if they did it, we can also do it today in much more advanced system. They were using 16 bits thousands of years before. Who told you that 16 bits was the greatest achievement in human history? It's not. The greatest achievement is yet to come. You need to understand this as a person. So it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. Have a sound mind. Study what's out there. Know the best way to know people is to interact with them. The best way to cast away biases is by coming close to the people. I find it very interesting that one of the reasons why we are who we are, and one of the things that bring us together, are exactly the things that tears us apart. And the things that tears us apart are more of the reasons that brings us together. So I'm coming to the end of this program, and I hope that some people will pick interest in this, and we can talk more about it and how it can affect our life and improve our life if only we can look inside to the wealth of knowledge left by our ancestors. This is Josiah Umizrike on Each One Teach One. We thank you for listening to us. Before I go, I'd like to show you that we are ready to start up our program again. The program will start, Each One Teach One is starting the program IFA on the 11th of this month. The IFA program is starting up the 11th of this month. You need to check, go to my YouTube channel and request a subscribe, and go to our website and request to be admitted in the class and follow the instructions given there. This here is what we are going to offer you, but first we have to start with IFA, okay? And the reason why we are offering this is because we believe that information technology and practical application can help us solve local problems. It doesn't matter where your local is, okay? And a foundation in robotics and automation is very necessary in the world that we are moving to. especially when people are talking about IoT, Internet of Things. And we also know that security information in drones and computers and internet is very important. You have to secure it because initially internet built over here when the research program was going on, the DAPA research program was going on within the universities across the land and the military. There were only 4 universities that had computer at that time. It wasn't built with security in mind. And today we are going through this problem every day. Another day is another another breach. So we know that's going to be important, and specializing in UAV, specialization in UAV robotics will be drawn for us. We'll teach these 4 areas, and we are very passionate about teaching them because it will lead to many things. Artificial intelligence, as we can see, people have had complexes that have had models based that they have fed into complexes. They have models based on many years of sampling, and they fed them into complexes, and they are getting the same result. Not only did they get the result in Emory, they were getting the same result in Yoruba land, Lorraine, and etc. etc. It's important for us to understand the importance of the relevance of taking seriously what our ancestors left for us. Thank you, and this is it for today. Till next time, bye for now.